Good morning, all of you. Myself, Azim Ghazi, and today we learn how the HX can be added on alkene. Okay, so what do you mean? First of all, we should know that what do you mean by the HX? So HX are known as the hydra acids. For an example, HF, hydrogen fluoride, HCl, HBr, or HI. So we have to add in this topic the HX on alkene. So basically alkenes are of two types. One is known as symmetrical alkene and the other one is known as unsymmetrical or asymmetrical alkene. Good. So let's take an example of symmetrical alkene. So I'm taking the simplest alkene for an example. Okay, so let's start. So this is your alkene CH2 double bond CH2. Clear? And hydra acid I am taking HBr. Good. So as we know that the hydrogen is less electronegative and the bromine is more electronegative. So that's why hydrogen acquires a partially positive charge while bromine gets a partially negative charge. So in the alkene molecule, this is the pi bond. If the pi electrons of this bond is moving on this carbon atom, then this carbon atom is electron rich, while this carbon atom gets electron deficient in nature. Got it? Okay. So this is the electron deficient part of hydrogen bromide, H plus. So this carbon atom is attacked. So this carbon atom is attacked on this hydrogen. Got it, man? Good. And this bromide gets attached with this carbon atom. Hope it is clear to you. And after attacking, we will get CH2 single bond CH2, single bond hydrogen, and this is your bromine atom here. Clear? Okay. Hope you understand it. Now we are taking this. This is the first situation A, and if we take the second situation, in the second situation, what we will see, you have CH2, double bond CH2, and you are adding on this alkene the same molecule as the previous one, HBr. In a similar manner, this hydrogen acquires a partially positive charge and this bromine acquires a partially negative charge. And now let's suppose that the pi electron of this pi bond is moved in this direction. Okay, so in this situation, this carbon gets electron rich in nature, while this carbon is electron deficient in nature. Good? Yes. So this carbon is attached with this hydrogen atom, while this bromine atom attack on this carbon atom. Clear? So finally what we get? CH2 single bond CH2, and here we have this hydrogen atom, and here we have this bromine atom. So what is the final conclusion after the addition of HBr on this symmetrical alkene? That in both the situation we get the same product. This is also known as 1-bromoethane, and this is also known as 1-bromoethane. So it doesn't matter at all that which double bonded carbon is electron deficient or electron rich. In case of the symmetrical alkene, we get the same product. But okay, now come to the addition of HBr or hydra acids on unsymmetrical alkene. But in case of unsymmetrical alkene, the situation is quite different. Now you are saying, sir, how the situation is quite different? Okay, let's take an example of the unsymmetrical alkene. I'm taking a simplest unsymmetrical alkene. Okay, so this is unsymmetrical alkene. CH3 single bond CH, double bond CH2. Now some students want to know that how can we say that this is unsymmetrical alkene. So to want to know the symmetrical or the unsymmetrical nature of the molecule, just draw the line from the mid of this molecule. Okay, and you clearly see this half part contain the methyl group and this half part contain the CH2 group, and it is clear that the CH3 is not equivalent to CH2. So it means that this is not a symmetrical alkene or a symmetrical molecule. This is a unsymmetrical or asymmetrical alkene. I hope you understand me. Okay, so I'm writing this example once more. Okay, just rub this. Yes, good. And now I'm taking the same example one more. Okay, so here we have a propene CH3 single bond CH, double bond CH2. Good. And you are adding the same hydra acid like the previous one, hydrogen bromide. Same situation arises, the hydrogen acquires a partially positive charge and the bromine gets a partially negative charge due to the electronegativity difference in hydrogen bromide. So now I am numbering on the carbon atom of this propene. So this is the first carbon atom, this is second carbon atom, and this is gonna be your third carbon atom. Got it? So if the pi bond is pi electrons of this pi bond is moving in this direction, then the first carbon atom is electron rich, and so that's why this carbon, the electron of this carbon is attack on this electron deficient hydrogen atom of hydrogen bromide. Good. And the bromine atom is attack on the second carbon atom. Yes. And finally, what we get? Finally, we get CH3, single bond CH, single bond CH2, and single bond H. And here we have a bromine atom. So what is the IUPAC name? Now we have to name the IUPAC name of this compound. This is the first carbon atom, this is the second carbon atom, and this is the third carbon atom. So we are numbering the carbon atom. Now we have to write. So the second carbon atom contains this bromine atom. So what is the IUPAC name of this compound? 2-bromo, and for 3 carbon pro, and all the carbon atoms are attached with single bond. So that's why we have to write the suffix "ane" here. So what is the IUPAC name of this compound? 2-bromopropane. So I'm reminding you that in this situation, the hydrogen atom gets attached with the first doubly bonded carbon atom, and the bromine atom gets attached with the second doubly bonded carbon atom. Now we are reversing the same situation. Let's write one more time the propene CH3 single bond CH, single bond CH2, and here we have a double bond plus times of HBr. In a similar manner, this is a partial positive charge, this is a partial negative charge. Now in this situation, now the pi electron, now the pi electron of this double bond is moving on the second carbon atom. So now this is the first carbon, this is the second carbon, this is the third carbon. Now the second carbon is electron rich in nature, while the first carbon is electron deficient in nature. So that's why the second carbon atom is attack on the proton of the HBr, while the bromine atom is attached with the first carbon atom. And in this situation, finally we get what? CH3 single bond CH, single bond CH2 and single bond Br, and we have H, isn't it? Now we have to write the IUPAC name of this compound. First of all, I have to number the carbon atom. This is the first carbon atom, this is the second carbon atom, and this is the third carbon atom. So, what is the IUPAC name of this compound? The IUPAC name of this compound is 1 single hyphen bromo P propane. As you clearly see from both these example, if you attach the negative part of the HBr with the second carbon atom, you will get 2 bromopropane, and if you attach the bromine atom with the first carbon atom, then you will get 1 bromopropane. So here in both the situation, the final product are different. But in case of the symmetrical alkene, the final product are same. So now we are in a perplexed situation on which doubly called, and we are in the perplexed situation. And what is the situation here? That now the question rises, the negative part of the adding molecule is attached which doubly bonded carbon atom, either first carbon atom, doubly bonded carbon atom, or the second doubly bonded carbon atom. So this anomaly was resolved by a Russian chemist who proposed a rule which is known as Markovnikov's rule. Okay, so with the help of Markovnikov rule, we can easily understand that whether we have to attach the negative part of the adding molecule on the second doubly bonded carbon atom or the first doubly bonded carbon atom. Okay, so let's talk about the Markovnikov's rule. So according to it, it states that the negative part of the addendum means adding molecule, the molecule which we are adding on our alkene. It states that the negative part of the addendum gets attached with that doubly bonded carbon atom which contain lesser number of hydrogen atom. So this is a statement of the Markovnikov's rule. I know that we are not getting much from this statement. So to understand the Markovnikov rule, I am taking the same example from the previous one. Okay. If you have any doubt, then you can message me. Okay. So here we have an option on parties. You have to go on the participant, and there will be option chat, and you have to just send me a message on the chat, and I will resolve your query as soon as possible. So okay, let's take an example. Good. So we have like a propene, CH3 single bond CH, double bond CH2, and the adding molecule, we are adding the same molecule HBr. Good. So according to it, what is saying then this is the partial positive charge. As I already told you, this is the partially negative charge on the bromine atom. Now according to the Markovnikov rule, the negative part of the addendum means adding molecule like HBr, negative part, which is the negative part, the bromine atom is the negative part of the adding molecule. So he's saying the negative part of the addendum is attached to that doubly bonded carbon atom. Which are the doubly bonded carbon atom? This is the first doubly bonded carbon atom, this is the second doubly bonded carbon atom. The negative part of the addendum is attached to that doubly bonded carbon atom which contain lesser number of hydrogen atom. So in this situation, in this example, the first carbon doubly bonded carbon atom contain 2 hydrogen atoms, while the second carbon contain only 1 hydrogen atom. So according to this rule, we have to attach the bromine atom with the second carbon atom. Okay. So what we have to do, CH3 single bond CH single bond CH2. So the negative part, which is the bromine, is attached with that carbon atom doubly bonded, which contain lesser number of hydrogen atom. And in our case, the second carbon contains the lesser number of hydrogen atom. So hydrogen is attached with the that carbon atom which contain more number of hydrogen atom. So this is the rule of the Markovnikovs. Now you are saying, sir, why we should attach the negative part of the addendum with the that doubly bonded carbon atom which contain lesser number of hydrogen atom. Okay. So this behavior can be explained or understood with the help of its mechanism. Let's talk about the mechanism of this. Okay, let's talk about the mechanism. I hope you understand. So in the mechanism of this, we have two steps. Okay, so we are dealing with the two steps. Step number one. So what we have to do, the step number one is addition of electrophile. I hope you know what do you mean by the electrophile, because I already told you in general organic chemistry that electrophile are those species which are electron deficient in nature. Good. Okay. So in the first step, we have to add the addition of electrophile. Okay. So addition of electrophile. So here we have an alkene. So here we have an alkene, CH3 single bond CH double bond CH2. So the first step, this is the first step, and this is the H plus ion, and this H plus ion comes from the HBr, and this H plus is electron deficient, and the first step of this mechanism is slow step, which is your RDS. RDS means rate determining step. So adding molecule. So now two situation arises. CH3 single bond CH. If we add the hydrogen on the first carbon atom, then what we get? CH3 H, and here we have a positive charge. If we add on the if we add the electrophile on the second carbon atom doubly bonded, then what we get? We get CH3 CH single bond CH2, and here we have hydrogen. Then the positive charge is present on the first carbon atom. So what we learn from here? So this is 2-degree carbon atom, 2-degree carbocation. 2-degree carbocation contain how many alpha hydrogens? 3 alpha hydrogens from here and 3 alpha hydrogens from here. So it contains 6 alpha hydrogen atoms. If I'm talking about this is a 1-degree carbocation. This is 1-degree carbocation, and this is contain how many alpha hydrogen atoms? This is the alpha carbon, and one hydrogen atom is this. One hydrogen atom is this. It contains 2 alpha hydrogen atoms. As we know, more will be the alpha hydrogen, more will be the Haber conjugation, and more will be the Haber conjugation, more will be the stability. So that's why 2-degree carbocation is more stable than, so this is less stable. Got it? Okay. So This 1 degree carbocation is a less stable, so that's why it is formed. I'm not saying that it cannot be formed. It is formed, but it in a very less quantity. So in majority, only the 2 degree carbocation is formed. So we can say that on addition of electrophile on unsymmetrical alkene, we get only 2 degree carbocation. Okay, so this is the first step, addition of electrophile. So after addition of electrophile, we get the 2 degree carbocation, which is more stable. Now we have a step 2. So in step 2, there is the addition of X minus ion. So we have to add the X minus ion on our carbocation. So I am taking the carbocation. So this is the 2 degrees carbocation, CH3, single bond CH, single bond CH2, single bond H, and this is a 2 degree carbocation. And the second step is the fast step. And in the fast step, here X minus is Br minus, and this is the fast step. And Br minus attack on this carbon atom. So what we get? We get CH3, single bond CH, single bond CH3, single bond Br. Is it clear to you? So with the help of, so we get finally 2 bromopropane. So as we see, the negative part of the addendum is attached with that doubly bonded carbon atom which contain lesser number of hydrogen atom. So this is the Markovnikov rule. So basically, what is the purpose of the Markovnikov rule? Markovnikov rules tells you about the addition of HX on unsymmetrical alkene. Hope you understand well. So if you have any problem, then I am opening the option of chat and you can message me if you have any doubt in this concept. Thank you. That's all from my side today. Okay. So there is one more rule which is known as anti-Markovnikov rule. So in the next class, we will discuss about the anti-Markovnikov rule, and that rule is also known as a peroxide effect. Thank you.